Hello, Jack Hockley here today, and I'm going to talk with you about endocannabinoids again. This is actually going to be a longer series than I thought. I found some articles on the current state of the evidence, and well, it is actually 2021, so it's already old, but that was the best overview of everything that I could find. But just to give you an idea, even back then, the amount of material that we started, or the amount of content or research studies done on all of this stuff is just exploding everywhere. Now that it's legalized, it's just exploding. So there's a lot of benefits to a lot of different conditions. Cardiovascular, it helps with lower, or CBD helps with lower blood pressure. It also leads to higher nitric oxide. Now, what that means is that the nitric oxide actually expands the peripheral blood vessels, which is like the vessels in your hand and your feet. So this is very important because those are some of the hardest places to get fresh blood to. And in wound care, especially, which I've done quite a bit of, it would be a game changer. In being able to increase nitrous oxide in general would be a game. Actually, I wonder if there's any other way of doing that. That just occurred to me. People could maybe just take nitric oxide. I'll have to look into that for a future episode. For 1 second, sorry. For diabetes, it's very helpful as well. Um, so there's insulin resistance, which especially type 2 diabetics, that's a serious issue, is their resistance to insulin. It's not that they aren't producing enough, it's that they have insulin resistance at the receptor level. Um, Now, CBD seems to help with that, which is a good thing. Many other things do help with that as well, such as regular exercise, stuff like that. But it never hurts to have another thing stacked up, helping when it's pretty much completely harmless. CBD. Um, I mean, actually, it's so harmless that the last bit of this I'm going to talk about, I mean, it might freak out a few of you at first, but it worked. Um, oh, and for part of the way it helps with diabetes is regulating the endothelium. Now, what that is the lining around the vein. This means that more of what should get through does get through, and more of what should go into the vein goes into the vein from outside of it, and vice versa. Um, so basically, that endothelial dysfunction that comes with diabetes that contributes to insulin resistance, it can help with that. Stroke, so the THC, that's interesting too. It's not CBD in this case, it's the THC. It increases brain oxygenation and it increases blood to the frontal cortex, which is what you use to do all of your higher cognitive thinking, like planning and all kinds of different things. Um, and then CBD can reduce spasticity. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but especially in some Parkinson's patients, they found that it's helped a lot. Um, but when we're talking about reducing spasticity, it'd be like muscle um, spasms and whatnot. So it helps with that. The problem is that to get the amount of THC CBD that you need to really help someone, it's quite expensive because it takes a lot of pot. It's that simple. And then for cancer, uh, generally it's good for cancer. So I mean, it helps with eating, it helps with pain, it helps with all these different things. It's been shown that cancer patients who are on marijuana require less opioids. Um, yeah, just generally in cancer, it helps regulate everything, and it helps, I believe, even with, well, apoptosis, so the so the death of the cancer cells themselves. Um, they've also found some benefits to people who have HIV in immunoregulatory, so your immune system function. Um, that's gonna be it for this one. Uh, or no, it's not. Sorry. Okay, so neurological symptoms. Okay, so that was part of the Parkinson's things that we were talking about, where it helped with their spasticity. See, Parkinson's is interesting in that it's both hypo and hyperkinetic. It's, I think, the only illness like that, which means that you have some movements that you should, and some are lacking that you should have, like your posture. Um, they help with neural protection in general and modulate inflammation. So both those things very important. Inflammation in the brain can lead to further damage, which is why it's good to be able to control that. So this would be like post stroke, basically. It helped with a bunch of things post stroke. Like we can't view every one of these things as its own bit. We should be viewing it as a collective whole. So, like in stroke patients, um, it helps with everything. A lot of people get spasticity after a stroke. Helps with that. A lot of people have neurological problems. Helps protect their brains. So it's good for that. I mean, just the number of it's the same with cancer, where you're looking at this one drug is helping all these other things. So using it as an adjuvant, which means just additional medication to the main treatment, can have massive benefits for people with very little to no risk involved at all. No matter how much you can't overdose on it, you can't get high on it. CBD, I mean, not THC, you can, but and even this coming out, that THC can affect our brain's blood flow and neuroprotection. That's huge too. They used to think only CBD did stuff like that. Now they're finding, oh, THC, the one that everyone demonizes because they think it leads to schizophrenia, which is not true at all. I'm sorry, I've been about drawing a blank. Oh, right, actually, CBD was found to help with psychotic symptoms. So in schizophrenia, it actually helps attenuate it. So in the 60s and 70s, when they were smoking pot, they were probably smoking 1 to 1, which means balance. Now they're smoking crazy high amounts of THC. You need the CBD to balance it out. They belong together. They work together. With them together, you get no or a much lower risk of psychosis from the THC. Finally, with epilepsy, so very, very famous case, especially of one girl who was having hundreds of seizures a day. They put her on CBD, down to about 5 a day, and that's been repeated on children all over the place. High doses of CBD help their epilepsy symptoms. In often times, the symptoms disappear completely. Okay, so that was a longer one. Sorry, I was looking down my pad a lot, but this is complicated stuff. I wanted to make sure you had the basic overview. If you all have questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll take a look. And then I'm going to continue on to the next. There's still, I think, like 4 body systems and a bunch of illnesses that go with each of them that I have to go through for each one. This is why, though. This is why before you're doing any of this stuff, it'd be a good idea to have a consult, at least, with a physician trained to dispense marijuana. They're the ones who should know all this stuff way better than I do, way better than any other type of specialist. That they have to actually go through specific training to be able to dispense marijuana. At least that's in Ontario, or Canada. Sorry. Um, that's all. Jack Hawklight signing off.